because it's just interesting, because I don't think anybody's bothered filming the right-of-way and all that since that footage was shot. Of course, really all that's changed is the development. Of course, the road's a lot wider than it was when they filmed it. Plus, I think it was actually narrower, even as a 2-lane.
I don't remember. It's been 50 years since, well, about 30 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, is that how long it's been since they 4-laned it?
Yeah, about 30 years ago, maybe 40.
Yeah, because I know in the footage, all that was clear. There was no trees there. Maybe the houses, but none of the trees.
Right.
It's all farmland, and I think there's still a little bit of that left along here. But I recognize the cut. I know that much. And then the gas plant and silos that are coming up, I recognize them even in the footage. That house has probably been there.
Oh, yeah, the house was built in the 30s or the 40s.
Yeah. I have to look at that audio recording, because it had the route from Athens to Gainesville, and it also had the list of stops along the route.
So you're going to want to go through Arcade and not take the bypass around Jefferson, okay?
Yeah, basically Pendergrass, Talmo, Arcade, Jefferson.
Okay.
And there's the gas plant. I don't know if they would have had a rail spur. They probably would have at one time, because I've seen in the archival film there was more than just a single mainline track here. There was a bunch of spurs.
Yeah, there would have been, because there was so much industry.
Oh yeah, you had the gas plant, and then you had the grain mill here, and I think all that spur trackage would have been practically all through here. And there was a general store somewhere diagonally across the road from the mill, probably where that modern second set of lanes is.
Yes.
So that was all obliterated. Hence why it's next to impossible to recreate the shot.
But it's interesting to see what it looks like now.
Oh yeah, of course.
Do you have the date of when that other one was done?
When the footage was shot,
Yes.
1956,
Okay.
about 2 to 3 years before they retired the engines.
Okay. I was 7 years old in 1956. I was in the 2nd grade.
And that was the year before Mimi was born too, so that's interesting.
Yep.
I just can't remember how fast they ran the engines down this, because the speed limit for the road is what, 55?
Right here it's going to be around 40 or 45.
I'm trying to think if that's the speed limit it would have had back then, even as a 2-lane, because some of the shots I see them pacing the engine at, they're going pretty fast. So I'd think about 45, I estimated about 45, 50, maybe 55 miles an hour in there.
That's the new Publix, right?
I think so. Yeah. And then I recognize this because of the building that's up here that's got the angled brickwork.
Yes.
That's still standing. And of course, all this was farmland in that footage back in 1956. No trees. And what trees were here were sparse.
Yeah, so some of these trees are 50 years old or older.
Well, if there was any from the 60s or 70s left, yeah. So, yeah, track curves off. You'd have a field here that wouldn't have had all this tree growth.
That's right.
It'd probably be like this, angling out.
Okay.
And there's the modern vet clinic.
Yes.
And then the building is right there. There it is.
The telephone office.
Yeah, and that's the same building.
Yeah.
Again, this would have all been more farmland, and now it's getting back to that. So right up here is where that finally comes back.
Yeah. That house was probably built in the 1930s.
Well, I'm sure most all the
That one
houses...
was built in probably 1940.
Well, I'm sure most of the houses on the right side of the tracks our original to the thing.
Does that say, appliance repair service here? New. Okay,
So yeah, now we're back into the farmland that it is still visible.
Text your dad on. Oh, you can't. You're using your hands to that.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to call him to tell him they're on their way.
All right.
I wouldn't do it this way. You're right.
I mean, this is going to all be in here.
Command, please.
Call.
It didn't work.
Okay.
Command, please.
What'd you say?
I said the dryer repairman is on his way.
Yeah, I'm fixing to pull in the driveway.
Okay, that's good. He should be there within 30 minutes or so, okay?
I'm turning in the neighborhood right now.
Perfect. Good timing. Okay, bye.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know if this part was documented in the filming. I doubt it, but I think it was. It's just hard to tell because remember, it's been nearly what?
But this elementary school that's down here was built in 1955.
Yeah, so it would
And
have.
the railroad track was there when they built it.
Well, I mean, of course, it's going to be here. Obviously, the road is the only thing that's changed is the road. Now, that all has probably still been here for God knows how long.
Yeah.
All that farmland,
Yeah.
and it probably would have been mirrored on this side.
Yes.
I think we've caught up with the rain, so that's not an issue.
It's supposed to be cloudy until like 5:30.
Yeah. And then there wouldn't have been any of this tree growth here back then.
This school was built, I think, in 1955.
Yeah, when did it
It
close?
it closed several years before COVID. They built a new school down here.
Yeah.
School painted gray. Doesn't look like a school anymore.
I don't know why everybody's painting everything gray. I've always personally considered that a very dreary and, well, even depressing color, frankly. I mean, that's just my take. That's just my preference to it.
Don't say that about when you're in Miss Gale's kitchen.
I didn't say that about her kitchen because at least she has more than just one color there. More fields, and of course all the trees behind the tracks would have all been farmland as well back then.
Yeah.
So I guess... trying to think. Arcade is just before Jefferson, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I thought so.
And now this is where the new South Jackson Elementary School is. It's down that road. I've never seen it.
Neither have I.
They finished it after I retired.
So there's a track. They're going down into a bit of a cut. I don't know if the crossings are still in the original locations. I doubt it, but... And then you've got a little passing siding here with maintenance of way gondolas in it. We have CSX being the ones who own this now, since they, of course, bought out Seaboard and all that. Of course, back in 1956, that whole other stretch of road wouldn't have been there, and I don't even think the 2 lanes here would have been...
It's a serious skeleton.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think the Yeah. Yeah, that's right, because, yeah, none of that road add-on there was there in 1956, obviously, because they didn't have a need for 4 lanes back then very much.
Right. They just started building the interstates in the late
Arcade.
50s.
Yeah, so we're now in Arcade. There's the tracks again, curving off to the right. The road following them. So where would we go to get into downtown Arcade, or is it just that little community you see right when you get off to go to Jefferson?
No, Arcade is a little town. It's not a big town, it's a little town.
Well, I know that, but I've never seen it, so that's more or less unchanged. The only difference is the tree growth has just started coming in. I think there was chicken houses right here, and then they tore them down recently.
Looks like it.
That guy's windmill fell. Oh well. On pause again until the tracks become visible. Yeah, so anywhere where there's trees by the road would have all been more or less clear farmland back in 1956. Of course, it doesn't take long for trees to start retaking a field. Usually you've got underbrush and scrub brush first, and then the trees come after. Am I right on that?
That's
or?
right. That's
Yeah.
exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Those trees were just saplings.
Yes. I'll say this, the fall colors are pretty, but I've noticed the leaves are falling off a lot quicker this year.
It was so hot this summer. We're not coming back to it.
Yeah. Funnily enough, it seems like the freights that come through here now have to go slow due to all the crossings.
Okay, we're going to turn off to the right here and go to Arcade, so you'll continue to follow it.
That's right. And then, of course, we'll follow the tracks again by going past the mill in Jefferson. One thing I'd like to try and get, though, is the depot, because I know the depot in Jefferson still exists. I just can't remember exactly where it's located in town now. It might be all that's left of the original road right there.
Because that would have been the road that would bring you in.
Yeah, so that, in other words, that's all that's left of the original road that probably followed the tracks in right there.
That's it. That was the original road coming to Jefferson, going to Arcade.
Yeah.
Because you could buy beer in Arcade in the 60s. Couldn't buy beer in Athens.
Yeah. Speaking of which, there's the bar.
Yes, that's been there for years.
And I know there's an automobile plant somewhere up here. I don't know if Arcade had a depot because I never could find anything on that. But I wouldn't doubt if it did.
I would think that it had
Well, if
a
it
depot.
well, if it did have a depot, it would have probably been something small like what you see in Talma.
Right.
Something tiny like that. And then, of course, there's the old general store. Now, I'm curious as to what they're going to do with that, because before it was a gutted out shell, and now, look, they've boarded it up. So that makes me wonder if they're going to do something with it.
That was the Arcade community.
Yeah.
There.
And the tracks continue on to Jefferson,
Right.
where Gainesville Midland 116 is on display. It's on display out there by one of the schools, if I'm not mistaken. And Jefferson would have been the next major stop on the Midland because of the textile mill and other industries there. And we are now in Jefferson, which is a nice, fairly sized town. I don't know how many people are in it. Of course, I've never bothered to look, so there's that.
One can look that up. Google Jefferson, Georgia.
Yeah, of course, back in the 50s, you'd be having to look at census books. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah, census books.
But you can Google what was the population of Jefferson in the 1950s, and it'll come up and tell you.
Well, I'm sure that wouldn't have been much, because that was before subdivisions were really starting to take off.
It was a small town, because that's why they have 3 school systems.
Well, yeah, and Athens was once a small town, too.
Athens, Jefferson qualifies as a small town. Athens was a town. It was called a college town.
Yeah. Then here's one of the main crossings coming into Jefferson here, and then there's the plant with an old signal right there. I've been meaning to try and photograph that. Oh, well, that can always be done later, because they ain't removing it anytime soon. And then the tracks are going to curve off to the left a bit, and then go into Jefferson. And last time Mimi and I went to check the mill, they had partially demolished the back half. Just the walls, they didn't demolish the floors. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but one will have to wait and see.
All right, now to go to Gainesville, we're going to have to get to this red light and turn right to go to Gainesville. The mill is to the left, so tell me what you want me to do. I don't care. You just tell me where you want to go.
I mean, I'm still wanting to go to Gainesville, but I'm just wanting to go by following the railroad tracks.
Well, then, we can't do that. We'll go to Winder. We'll have to hit the railroad
No.
tracks.
There's, well, I was going to say, there was a small road that paralleled, but then again, going right would be better, because Highway 129 does still follow the tracks, I believe.
Okay, so you want me to turn to the right? Then?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
But then again, it also seems like Holder Spring Road would also be the better way to go, because it seems like that follows them for a good ways too.
Okay, which side? Where do I turn to?
Well, I'm trying to look.
If we're going to Pendergrass, we have to turn to the right. So that'll solve that problem.
All right.
Okay, and then we can get off and go through Pendergrass and all those places.
Well, Pendergrass, Talmo.
Yeah, we can do that. That's
Yeah.
not a problem. I just had to get us through Jefferson.
Yeah. Anyways, here is the town of Jefferson. The mill would be off to the left by the tracks, and then the town is here off to the right. And of course, you've got the courthouse being higher up than everything else.
Yes.
So that's about right.
So I'm going to the right.
The interesting thing about the house there, it was made with some sort of stone which matches the church. Because why does it match the church? Simple, that's the preacher's house.
Probably.
Well, not probably, it is, from what I've heard.
Oh, okay. Here we go. It's Jefferson, Toccoa are about the same size. Commerce, Jefferson, Toccoa, they're all about the same size.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see how you even get to that road. Because it looked like it followed the tracks for a good ways, and I lost it. Dang it. Oh, Holder's Siding. Okay, so that's probably named after the railroad siding then. I'll have to keep that in mind next time.
Okay, and where is that road?
Well, that's a good question. I don't genuinely know. It seems like it's out in the middle of nowhere. Hold on one second. All right, part 2. So we're going to...
Old Pendergrass Road. Do you want to try that one?
Well, sure, why not?
Okay, let's try that. Okay.
Means I can cancel this. I say that.
No, here. Come on, folks. There's a good chance that it says Old Pendergrass Road, that's the way to Pendergrass.
Yeah, and then there, of course, Gainesville Midland 116 is just down there.
Okay, here we go, because we're on the backside of the school.
Yeah. And 116 is down there.
Command, please.
Cancel route.
The tracks are just over there.
Cancel route. Do you really want to cancel the route?
Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to be turning left, or excuse me, right. Jeez, my brain ain't working. Just bear me no mind. And some of these buildings do look a little older. Like, I don't know, 50s-ish, 60s-ish. Judging by that. Gymnasium.
Okay.
So we are going that way.
Okay.
Oh, there's what was left of the old crossing, I bet. I genuinely don't know what the school would have looked like in the 50s, but I'd imagine there wouldn't have been as many buildings, of course.
No, they had a high school, a junior high, and an elementary school. The elementary school was over there. The high school was a big building with the white columns.
Well, it seems like some old buildings from there still exist. It's just... yes. We're going to need to go that way.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. No through. This is Holder's Siding Road. Very good. Nice navigating. Good.
All right, we're going to have to...
We should be able to stay on this road and
Yeah.
straight into Pendergrass
Yeah,
and Talmo.
that's right. I'm just trying to think of what other towns are after...
That's it. Then Gainesville. I started to say, what a yellow house, but that's insulation. Okay, here's our railroad tracks. I haven't been back here in years.
You're welcome.
Okay, which way am I turning?
It seems like you're going straight.
Okay. Yeah.
So now the tracks are on the driver's side. Of course, these trees wouldn't have been here, and all these houses wouldn't have been here.
Right.
Would have all been farmland. The road probably was here, but it wouldn't have been this wide.
That little house would have been there. What's that little house? That's pretty.
Oh, yeah.
It's over there.
Yeah, so this goes into, yeah, so we'll have to get back on 129, because tracks go back to follow it.
Okay. You just tell me when.
Alright.
There's nobody behind me, so.
Well, we're not exactly needing to slow down. I've hardly ever been able to catch any trains here. So there's a little more farmland in between the road here and the railroad tracks. Well, it would have been farmland, now it's woodland. But it's still nice, and it's actually a lot prettier. Especially when the lighting gets like this. Hello, I didn't realize this. Oh, this is Highway 129.
Alright, so I am going.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. If we turn right, that's going to Gainesville, right?
Right,
At least I think. I hope I'm right on that. I really hope I'm right on that, because I don't want to mess up.
Well, we can just turn around and look at it if we do. I'm not sure.
Well, it shows us following the tracks, so
Okay.
let me go backwards, because, yeah, we're going the right way. Otherwise, we'd be going to,
We'll be going back to Jefferson.
yeah.
Okay. But usually they have a sign that says Gainesville this way, Jefferson that way.
Yes. Of course, we're taking a detour, because on the GPS...
She doesn't know this road exists, does she?
Oh, no, it does, but no, the tracks are there.
Okay.
There's Holder's Siding Road, but they come back after a while. Right there. So, I will end the recording, and that will be where part 3 goes in.
I knew it was right in this Jupiter area. I just wasn't positive where it was.
Alright, so we're now currently entering Pendergrass, which was the 3rd stop on the railroad. The depot here in Pendergrass still exists. It's now the community center, and I've got photos and videos of it, unless they've done some stuff to it recently. But, yeah. Pendergrass is just a tiny, tiny little town.
Yes.
Literally
it's a community.
Yeah.
It's
In
not
fact-
even a town.
In fact, there's the main street there, and the depot is right there. There it is. So really, really tiny. Really tiny. And we're going to be following this. Well, it may not be a tiny town for much longer. I had they tore that house down.
Yeah.
Wasn't even in the development line. So what are they even going to build here? Another gigantic thing?
No, they don't have a sign. So.
Well, that's a shame. Well, there was an old gas station right in here, but that's probably been knocked out. Here's the rest of the Midland line going through Pendergrass.
Subdivision.
Yeah. And of course, all this development and whatnot wouldn't have been here back in the 50s, of course.
Yep, that's what's going to be. Progress of quote is coming to Pendergrass.
Oh boy, don't say it.
Yep. Ooh, Bradford pears are starting. Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a road that has a pretty tree out in the middle of the cemetery.
That's right.
Oh, now we go to Craig. No, those aren't Craigburns. Those are like those. Now back to Bradford pears. And now we may be coming into Talmo.
I don't think Tama would be that close.
Oh no, there's a school. Yeah, because I almost became principal of North Jackson. They offered me the job, but it was too far to drive.
Of course, that would. I don't think that would have. Well, no, I don't. I can't tell when that was built.
About in the 1950s, they've gone back and redone it on the roof line and all that, but it was built in the early 1950s.
Fair enough. So this is all accurate in terms of how it would have looked. So you still got farmland, and I love the rolling hills there.
This is exactly how it would have looked then.
Well, minus all the modern stuff, like the storage stuff and whatnot. Everything else is mostly the same. A lot of fog out today.
Yeah, it is a little. Yeah, in fact, that's what it said on the Weather Channel, that in Gainesville there was fog.
This is still more or less accurate in terms of how it would have looked, save for more modern add-ons that have come in recent years.
The houses.
Well, yeah, the houses and all, but everything else, the farmland and all that, is still pretty much original. So we're going to be continuing straight, following the railroad tracks, because Talmo is next stop.
Thank you.
You good? Again, like Pendergrass, I've already been to Talmo and photographed practically everything.
It didn't take long.
Well, it's still a nice little town. There's actually a little sandwich shop up here I'd like to go and eat at one day if there's ever time.
Yes.
And the depot for Talmo also still exists, and they even have a caboose on display beside it, so that's good. And I think that's, other than Ficklin and Tybee, this was one of the smaller depots I've seen. When was that house built?
Started probably in the 60s, and they just kept adding on.
Fair enough.
That house is built in the 40s, the 30s or the 40s.
Yeah.
Okay, and
There's the depot in Talmo.
and that cute little gas station.
I think that's a replica.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder if they're open. I believe they are.
The Talmo Grill. Sorry, we're closed. They close at 2 o'clock.
Well, they got a general store too. That's
Yeah.
open. Now, I haven't been past this point.
Yes, we have. We've done
Oh,
this
well.
before.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm
this
listening.
is where we're coming up to that cemetery that had the tree in the middle of it.
Well, I wouldn't mind stopping. Besides, there's a spot that has a decent-sized cut that I'd like to photograph.
Okay.
It's just a matter of getting to it.
All right. You just tell me.
I think it's when we're closer to Gainesville.
Okay. Yeah.
Problem is, I'm noticing everybody's just flying down this road. But then this is what you would have seen in 1956.
That's exactly what it would have looked like.
Save for a lot of the more recent tree growth and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
this is what it would look like. Oh, George Burks.
well, that plant was probably here.
Yep, that was a 60s style plant. Flat roofs were really popular in the 50s and the 60s. They were cheaper to build.
I meant to have us turn down that way, but oh well.
Down Midland Road.
Yeah, but I don't know if that would have been a good idea, but
Well, we can. Here, I'll just turn that up here.
all right. Right, let's try this again. Take 2. Oh, I believe we have found Le Pond Scum.
Yeah, let me go in here and turn around here.
Cedar Hollow. All right, we're going to try this again. Let's hopefully not pass the
I
road.
love the spider web. All this decorating for Halloween.
Yes. All I can say is in winter, do not come down here with your brakes not working. Otherwise, you're going to be
In the
swimming.
pond. You're going to be swimming into algae.
That's a pretty little road, and that's actually where the dam is, too.
It actually says no trespassing.
Well, no, I know that. I'm not...
Yes.
Can I say something?
Yes, no, I'm just making an observation.
Yes. Yeah, they need to add a light, not gonna lie.
Okay, now
And
where am I turning up here?
Yeah, and the problem is nobody's gonna let us turn because they're in such a dang hurry.
I'm turning left, so it doesn't matter.
Still.
I mean, turning right, so it doesn't matter here.
Okay, for once I'm hoping this rain holds off so we don't get stuck. That would be terrible. It's like, mission failed, we'll get it next time.
Let's see, where's this come out?
It comes out at another road, Mayberry, I believe. But it would make sense, and this probably has been unchanged. The only difference is the road being graded. Oh, well, there's the cut, so that saves us that trouble. And there's a crossing right in here, too, so that's going to make it fun. Okay, yeah, I'm liking this. Yeah, so this dirt road's probably not been changed at all. Maybe just ballasted and whatnot, but other than that, it's all mostly original. Well, again, save for the houses. Houses are probably the only thing that's been added. Farmland-wise, all of that's original. Now, I think some of the trees might be...
Did you want to get out and photograph the cut?
Not yet, but I was going to wait till we were at the crossing, which is right up here.
Right, good.
And I'm glad I made that decision, because look at the view.
Oh, yeah.
I see there's the crossing.
Yeah. This reminds me of that road when we were in southwest Georgia. We went to Warm Springs. You know, we went on that road that connected us to another road that took us to somewhere else.
You're talking about that where the rail line was abandoned?
Yeah.
That wasn't in Warm Springs. I think that was in that nowhere town that I keep forgetting the name
I
of.
can't remember either. Okay, now. I'm not going down there.
No,
So.
no, I know you're not.
Okay.
And I'm not asking you to.
Okay, here. Let's see where this goes.
Well, here, you could probably just pull over right in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
29. I wonder if that's either the milepost or the speed limit, because if it is, that gives
That's
us...
milepost. Well, I don't know. I don't have any idea.
Well, no, the mileposts usually have a point after them, so that might be the speed limit.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually like that little spot. I actually got multiple photos of it
good.
for Rails Unlimited, because that's just neat. You don't see a driveway going right beside the railroad grade.
All this looks exactly the same.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's on a dirt road, too. I mean, of course it's going to be the same. It's rural enough to where nobody has to worry about massive amounts of development coming in and trying to buy the land out. Yeah, still close enough for civilization. Left your hazard lights on, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Now, there was probably a house right up in here. Cause see the old
Yes,
trees?
Yes.
I don't... Yeah, there it is. There was. See, there's the chimney right at the bottom.
That was the old home place.
Yeah, because, yeah, see, there's the chimney right there. Base.
With the fireplace. Yep, that was the old home place.
Must not have been a very big house, because, see, you've got the large trees around it, but there's not a big footprint.
Well, they didn't build
Well, I know.
big houses.
Well, no, I know that. I'm just saying. I've seen farmhouses before, but they were never that big. And by the way, the tracks are right here off on my side to the right. And then they're going to be... We're going to come out to another crossing.
There they are.
Yeah, and you don't really need to go slow, but...
Okay.
Because, again, there's no train yet. Oh, what do we have here?
Oh, people dump things.
Oh, well, that's cruel.
Yeah.
That's actually the first sign I've seen concerning that.
Right. And also, it has a sign back there that says the bus stops here.
Oh,
For
God.
the school bus.
Well, it makes sense. You don't have to worry about anybody trying anything stupid or funny out here.
The bus stops here.
So there's a grade there. A really decent grade, too. And then there's another crossing.
But I'm turning right.
Yeah. I actually like this where... Now, see, I love these old rural crossings. They're just, you don't see them much anymore. You really don't.
Okay. Want me to stop?
No, you're good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the Midland going back to Jefferson and Talma, and there's the route going to Gainesville, which is where we are going next.
Okie dokie. Well, that was a good cutoff. Thank you for remembering that's where that was.
You're welcome. I'm going to laugh, though, if we get all the way to Gainesville and it's just pouring rain.
It's not supposed to do that, according to the weather channel.
Well, remember...
Till after 5 o'clock.
Well, remember, what the Weather Channel and them report doesn't usually amount to a hill of beans, especially out here.
That house was built in the 70s.
Welcome to Jackson
I
County.
thought that was Barrow.
Oh, we're going to be turning left.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, I didn't even realize all that was there. That looked pretty with the light. The problem is it's technically a main road. Well, it is only 2:45.
Yeah.
I just don't know if...
What track again?
Yeah. I'm going to need to remember this. So, Mountain Creek Church. I'll have to keep that road in mind. Mountain Creek Church. Mountain Creek Church.
It has the Mountain Creek Baptist Church sign up here.
Yeah. And then we could also get here to going on Highway 332. So, yeah, I'll keep that in mind because I want to come back and photograph that house and that barn in the field. Especially the lighting like this made it really good, look really nice too.
We may have missed the cemetery with the pretty tree.
Oh, it's fine. Remember, it's a cemetery. I don't think it's going anywhere.
That's true.
It's like, who would want to move a cemetery? Well, you see about that. Oh, there's a nice cut right there.
It is.
There's a nice church along with it. So what little community are we in now? Oh, we're in the outskirts of Gainesville.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the Midland coming into Gainesville. Okay, so yeah, we're going to want to cross the tracks and then continue going to the right.
Okay, so we're going to the right.
Yeah. I think you were supposed to stop, but I will. Now, I think the cut is going to be somewhere in here, but I do not remember.
Okay, well, I got somebody on my bumper, so that...
Candler. What is...
Candler's a little community right outside of Gainesville.
So that's technically the... Let's see. Athens, Arcade, Jefferson, Pendergrass, Talmo, the one we just mentioned. Candler, and then Gainesville. So that's 7 stops.
Yeah.
6, 7 stops. Is that right?
I wasn't counting. I was listening.
Yeah, I think that was right. Athens, Arcade, Jefferson, Pendergrass, Talmo, Candler, Gainesville.
Excuse me, George, from here.
So this would have been more farmland at the time.
Yep.
I think that cut was near Cook Drive. That may have been it, but it could also be a different place or spot altogether. Let's see, I think the upper part of this road might also be it. I'm also having to look. Yep. Wait, nope. Oh, my brain's not working, but anyway, here's the rest of the Midland coming into Gainesville. And I like that it still has all of these old crossbuck style crossings. Most of them now are all gated. Oh, and I think I found your cemetery with the massive tree.
No, I didn't have a church in front of it.
Well, that is still pretty.
Ready it was. Yeah. Okay, so we're 2 miles outside of Candler and 8 miles from Gainesville.
It's interesting. You can see the rail line, how it rises and falls.
Yeah.
With the grades. Of course, then again, they also would have regraded all this in this post-steam era, and I'm pretty sure there was a spur going down into that sucker.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind they had a spur going to them. Well, no, actually, there might be a spur.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because here's the...
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is the spur right
Yeah.
there. There's the switch.
Yeah.
Oh, no, never mind. It was cut. But the track is still in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary that I've learned so much from you about trains that I recognize the signal thing where they change the tracks.
I don't know why you say that's scary.
Because I didn't know anything about trains. Other than I had ridden on them. And now I go, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man, yes. Oh, what's the term? Oh yes. One rail fan put it, oh yes, indoctrination successful.
That's right. I've been successfully indoctrinated.
Okay, I think the cut, oh that's pretty right there with all the leaves. With this lighting and the fall colors, that would look really pretty around this time. Problem is you'd have to hike the right-of-way, which wouldn't be easy. And then there's more, I guess they're getting ready to build a mine out of all that down there.
Could be. Okay.
Yeah, it is. They're turning it into a gravel pit, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, well, here we go. Look here, maintenance away. So this just shows the track is still active, maintenance away right there. Yeah.
Just think you could be a geeky dancer.
Very funny. Oh, so they're redoing the crossing. Okay.
Yeah, Candler, Methodist Church.
The church is pretty. There's a high rail coming down right there. So depending on the time we get into Gainesville, they might have a train coming back through here. Who knows? Who knows? And I'm also trying to keep these roads in mind because, I mean, I like how some of them look like what you'd see in the mountains, like down in
Yes.
there. Like, see, I love that. That just looks too good not to model.
Yeah, and see, Gainesville is at the base of the Appalachian Mountains, so, or the Blue Ridge, which are part of the Appalachians, but the Blue Ridge Mountains, yeah.
That house has probably been here since the 50s.
That one definitely is a 50s house.
There's the Midland sub again. And there's another industry which is still in use by the railroad right there. I love this. So they literally probably just built the road at probably, I don't know if they built, well no, I know the railroad was built first, but I don't know if they built the original road afterwards. But then again, I don't know.
If we find a bridge, we'll know. Because this used to just be a 2-lane road because there are houses back there that were built in the 40s. So people needed to be able to get to their houses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It might not have been a paved road.
Well, I'd say they're busy. There's the Midlands right-of-way again. I think it's always been a single track, save for the passing sidings and stations. I might have to get the windshield wipers on. I think we've caught up with the rain. Are you sure that weather report didn't say it was going to stop raining at 5?
Could be.
Well,
I'd say there were a chance of thunderstorms at 5.
okay, I think we might be getting close to the cut now. Yeah, because we're climbing and it's falling. Oh, well, no, never mind. Fresh ballast there. See, I love how it just has all these curves and whatnot. If it were a modern built railroad, you wouldn't see any curvature. Right. They'd try and keep that down as much as possible.
All right, now we're in Hall County. That's Gainesville. That's the Cameron, Gainesville.
Yeah. I think the only bit of trackage they removed from the entire railroad is actually right there in town where where the Midlands Depot is. There's the route ahead.
Whoops, we have a truck here. Thank you. Now the traffic's going to pick up because we're coming into
Yeah, I know.
Cameron, Gainesville.
Serious grade right there.
Mm-hmm.
Very serious, unless the road dips down and the track is level, which would make more sense.
Yeah.
I'd say we've caught up with the rain. Whoa, easy, buddy. So there's the Midland right-of-way there, curving off to the left. Same direction we're going, with a huge transfer station. Right there, that actually almost looks like it was a new build.
Well, I'm sure they've repaired it over and over again, but they had to, because from Lake Lanier That
Yeah.
they're moving all that power coming from Buford Dam.
Yeah. It's funny, somebody mentioned to DeLay and Block, I was looking at his stream a few nights ago when he was in Dalton. Somebody mentioned or asked him if he'd been to Lake Lanier yet. And he said no, because I think that they also mentioned Gainesville, which was 3 hours from where he was staying, which would make sense.
Yeah.
It'd be close for him to come down here. Yeah, so the major change is going to be in Gainesville, where all this development has come in. But here's where, on the map, you can see where the Midland had a Y, or had a bunch of interchange points in town, with all the grain mills and whatnot.
Okay.
And South Grove Street, there was where their Y was, and they had the trackage all go into the depot there, and I lost it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had to order the parts to fix the dryer, so while I'm gone, don't lock the door.
I'm
Because Dad
not.
will be coming over to dry clothes.
I'm not. Anyway, the track for the Midland literally dead ends right in Gainesville, which is the end of track technically, or the beginning, depending on where you want to go from with this. We have the major changes are all of what you see here. All this development and industry and all that has come since Gainesville has grown up.
That's all from the 50s and the 60s.
Well, I don't know if it was post.
No, because Gainesville used to be the chicken capital of the world. They raised chickens here, and the poultry capital of the world
Well,
when I was a little girl.
well, I'm saying like any new plants and all that have
Yeah.
been built. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what's new and what's been here. Of course, yeah, the building's probably from the 50s, but it's not.
The industry may have changed.
Oh, yeah. Then, of course, the airport, that's been there. It's just been built up. That's what I'm trying to say. I guess the original plants are still there. They've just been heavily built up, just like everything else, if that makes sense. Yeah, so the Midland is there, but all the development between it and the highway has made it inaccessible in terms of being able to view it, which is fine, but we're practically at the railroad's final destination. So yes, this will conclude probably at where 209 is displayed, or the depot for Gainesville Midland, one of the two, because all the trackage leading up to the depot is gone. They ripped that out years ago, probably in the early 2000s, if I remember correctly, because that was around the same time they cosmetically restored 209. There's the trackage down there. There's one of the crossings. You can see the sign for it anyway. And then on the map, we're coming into where Gainesville Midland would have interchanged with what was then the Southern Railway, which is right there. And they would have had their interchange trackage and all with them back then and now, because Norfolk Southern and CSX still interchange in Gainesville, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is where part 3 ends, and part 4 will begin when we get in downtown. Alright, so here's part 4. Now,
I got somebody on their bumper, so.
well, they'll just have to deal with us going slow then, because we got to turn right there anyway.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So, in terms of the Midland subdivision, oh, that plant is still active. I'll be. They're smoking, so that's good. So, yeah, in terms of the Gainesville Midland trackage, it's still in place right here up to where it would have interchanged with the Southern Railway, which is right up here. In fact, right there, in front of the mill, is where the trackage comes in and merges. And the interchange is right there. And actually, there's what's left of the main line, so there would have been a diamond right here that would have crossed. Yeah. So there would have, yeah. So there's the Midland right-of-way right there. It literally comes into...
Oh, wait a minute. You want me to go this way?
Oh.
Sorry.
Careful.
Thank you. Yeah. Out of here.
If I could find if there was a place to park, I could walk around and show all this.
Yeah, we'll find a place to park.
Well, no, that's just it. I don't know if there is a place.
Yeah, there's a place to park.
Well, so that's interesting. There's also a spur here, too.
Yeah. Okay.
Watch the curb.
I've got it. All right, which way are you going to walk back? Okay, then
Yeah.
I'll turn around and come back and pick you up.
All right.
Got it. You need an umbrella?
Well, if it starts raining like Niagara Falls,
I'll drive fast.
Oh, it's fine. I'll live.
Okay, thank you.
It's only sprinkling anyway. Yeah, I'll be around. So yeah, here's the Gainesville Midland right-of-way here, and then there's also a spur here that services all the grain mills and industries here in town. But here's the main line for the Gainesville Midland right here. Now there would have been a crossing right here, but that's been taken out. Let me go into 0.5 mode. There we go. So yeah, here's the Midland right-of-way, and you've got all the spurs and whatnot for the railroad down here. Now, back in the 50s, this trackage would have gone and continued straight across the Southern Railway main line, through the various blocks of downtown Gainesville, and it would have dead-ended at the Gainesville Midlands depot in the center of town, which was where they had their yard offices and whatnot. All of that trackage has now been removed. In fact, as I walk, you'll notice the track actually makes a sudden curve to the right, which you'll see in just a few minutes. Now I'm going to cross the tracks here, so that way I'm not in the road. Now, here's this railroad line's main commodity, what still keeps it going. Fresh corn. Up there. Now, interesting thing, part of the old diamond is still intact here in town, but here is one of the old textile mills in Gainesville. I think the only one that still stands. It's a massive structure. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floors, and I think that was their office building. So I'm going to try and get pictures of this for Reels Unlimited. Same with the mill. I've wanted to photograph all this for a while anyway. It's a huge structure though. Now again, there would have been a switch here. Probably where I'm standing is where the switch would have been. Track would have run straight. Yeah, right here. Look, right here. Track would have run straight. Yeah, it would have diverged right around in here. Would have run straight. Straight where I'm walking. Then the railroad would have had this interchange with the Southern right here, Southern Railway. It would have gone straight where I'm walking, because there's the ties, what's left of them. And then it would have crossed the Southern Railway main line right where this remaining bit of track is. Exactly. Of course, all of this has been ripped up over the last 15, 20 years. In fact, here's what's left of the old interlocking controls right here. So, here's the old Gainesville Midland interchange point right here. And currently, the modern successor to the Southern Railway is coming in right now, so I'm going to stand back and let you guys see it for yourselves. I'm going to get better pictures of this because you don't see this much anymore at all. I'm going to cross the tracks here. Here's an old crossing base. Now, we got an NS freight coming in, or NS freighter run through power. Now, interesting thing, where these rails are right here is where the diamond would have been for the Gainesville Midland. So these tracks would have crossed the Gainesville Midland, the Gainesville Midland right of way here, would have crossed the Southern right of way here, curved off, went on a curve, went where the baggage car is, and would have dead ended at the depot for the Gainesville Midland. Now I'm going to stand back and let this NS train pass real quick. So, enjoy the modern day successor to the Southern Railway. $75, $78, $10.95, Norfolk Southern. So he's probably going to pick up those tank cars down here on the modern day Midland sub interchange right there. So I'm now going to walk up to where the Midland tracks used to dead end, and I'm going to walk across via the road. So I'm going to pause my recording since I need to see what I'm doing, and I'll well, actually I'm going to just wait. So yeah, I'll see y'all later. Right. So continuing from where the Midland crossed the Southern Railway, the tracks would have curved down in that gully there and come up where we're at now, where they've got a slight rail trail following the old route. And here is one of the old pieces of equipment on display with Gainesville Midland 209. Now I'm curious about this mill. For one, I'm glad to see it's still running because that's the first time I've seen the stacks running. The question is, what do they make there? That's my question. Now, I'm going to get my camera underneath the baggage car so that way it's not getting wet. But I'm going to be trying to get up close photos, so the footage is going to be interspliced with whatever I can get of the equipment. So the footage recording ends now and the photographing starts. We have found the Gainesville geese. So anyway, here's the Southern Railway baggage car that was with Gainesville Midland 209. I'm going to be trying to get up close photos with it so Yeah, excuse the camera footage for being all over the place. This is so Rails Unlimited has reference material, along with anybody else who wishes to model it. And what I do when I photograph all this stuff is I try to get all the up close details, all the little details that are missed. It's a P5 horn. Must be 1095 reversing. It must be 1095. I filmed that engine in not Brunswick, Locust Grove, and it had a P5 on it. So that must be him backing out now. I'm very curious about the mill. They've got people up there, so I'm curious. I hope the birds don't mind me being here. I ain't here to bug them. I'm here to photograph the engine and equipment. Solid bearing journal box. Whew. Need to fix that sucker, but solid bearing looks to be in good shape. More of the geese. How about there might be the head of the flock keeping watch. That one's like, I'm going to sneak up and take your stuff. Whatever he was doing, I don't know. Anyway, there's your main compression springs and whatnot. Now again, I'm going back through and more or less photographing all this for Rails Unlimited. Now I'm going underneath here. You can see the framing and all that. And I'm gonna go back underneath and get better photos with my phone. So yeah. Not very often I get to film and photograph Canada geese. I'm only a few feet away from them too, and note, I ain't bugging them like some idiots. Yeah, I see you, buddy. You're good. Got this chain here, I don't know what that was for. Brakes, maybe? Because you got that mechanism. Over that, it's got a battle scar. Look at it, dented all to hell. Right, now the piece de resistance, which is the locomotive. And that's where I'm going to be. Locomotive's going to be where I use the phone to do the recordings or the photography. So that's it for this. Though I'm glad to see this mill running. In fact, I may ask him. I'm curious if that's the boiler house. I wouldn't doubt that's what that is. I'm almost tempted to ask him if I could look. I'll be back, y'all. Alright, you can see the two NS locomotives I filmed earlier going down by the Southern Depot down there. Here in downtown Gainesville, there's this mill I photographed. And here's 209. So, I'm going to begin the main photo documentation, well, now. So, yeah, I will see y'all when this is done. Currently here in Gainesville, as you can see, there's a NS freight passing. What's not passing though, yeah. If you guys watch V12 Productions channel, you'll know about this little wreck that occurred here. I don't know exactly what happened myself, but it looks like somebody decided to what's the word? There's a word for this, I can't remember it, but anyway, basically whoever parked these cars decided, nope, they, forget it, my brain's not working. Anyway, long story short, I'm surprised these have been left here, these 3 tipped grain hoppers. You can see they're going to salvage the wheels and the trucks, but I don't know about the cars. It looks almost like they backed them down this spur, these 2 spur tracks, and the tracks just couldn't handle the weight and they just buckled. I mean, hell, you can see the rails here are absolutely buckled and torn up, so either that was from them moving these or vice versa. In fact, you can see some of the grain here that's rotted. I think that's just from where they drug the cars out from over here, but yeah, broken rail there. Actually, not just broken, it's literally bent and broken. Look at that. Wow. Rotted grain. Oh. Yeah, that sucker got wrecked. Literally, but God, look at this. Is that another train? Is that seriously another train? I'll laugh if it is. There's Cargill Grain 610. Yeah, this sucker right here is probably going to be cut up right where it's sitting. Same with the other 2. Because look at that sucker. That thing is mangled. Holy smoke, yeah. That sucker is a total loss. I can tell by looking at it. It's all due to it being banged up. I don't honestly know what happened here, to be honest with you. I mean, look, you can see the sides all bent inwards and buckled. Let me stick this sucker through here. Well, you guys were curious as to what the inside of one of these grain hoppers looked like. Now you know. Hope this makes the modeling easier for you anyway. This stuff is rotted and fermented. Woo-wee! Yeah, I'm gonna get away from that. But look at this. Don't laugh. I think this is technically the first train derailment I have seen up close. I've never been this close to one. Or at least in terms of the aftermath. And the rotted, fermenting stuff on the ground is a mixture of clay and grain from the cars. It's grain that's spilt. And you can see the absolutely destroyed tracks here. Now again, I don't know if this is from the derailment or if this was due to them moving the cars across these. It's probably one of the 2. Here's another view of one of these hoppers. See the inside of it there. And there's some of the rotted cargo. I'm honestly, well, no, that wouldn't make sense. Because look at the tracks. They wouldn't have been using these 2 tracks when these cars derailed. Yeah, that wouldn't make any real sense, actually, now would it? because these tracks have trees and all growing through them. Interesting, there's a hole punctured into one in there. Funnily enough, I was going to say, you'd think these two were still coupled together. You can see the interior there. The interior of these cars. This is the first time I've seen them, so they just run them underneath the actual mill hatch where they load the grain in from above. They open these hatches up and just fill it up. Basically what they do with a coal hopper, except the opening is smaller. There's another set of busted rails there. Busted or torn up one. And then there's Cargill 610 again. So I'm guessing the fate of these three hoppers is going to be scrap. I mean, especially that last one. That thing is beat up so bad that I don't see any shop being able to repair that. Now I think what they're going to do is have RJ Corman come in here and lift these cars out either on a trailer or something and just truck them out of here, or load them up onto a nearby waiting NS train and take them to the closest scrap yard. Whatever works, I guess. Whatever's cheapest. So, that's pretty much it. Save for the derailment damage to the track that I'm now going to photograph. So other than that, I will see y'all later. I think these tracks buckled simply due to the equipment moving the cars. But then again, I don't know if they're going to actually move these things anytime soon because there's vines and all growing around them, but who knows? Who knows? But it looks like they're going to salvage the wheels and wheel truck assemblies. So, and what they could do is actually come in and salvage the couplers and brake hoses too. I just realized that they could take those out as well if they wanted. But oh well. Okay, there's the wheels. You can see the bearings in them right there. That's what those are right there, roller bearings. Not solid bearings like you see on the older equipment. And more of the destroyed hoppers. And there's the wheel trucks and whatnot, along with their various parts and pieces. More old rail. That is pretty much it. I will see you all later.